Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy So, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that like button and drop a comment. This next clip that you're going to watch is from our latest episode, which is streaming right now on your favorite platform, episode 108. In this clip, the Heat season tipped off, and they didn't get their first victory until the third game of the season. Who's going to continue to step up for this team? Because we need some offense. Heat season, man, tipped off. Had to wait a little bit to get a little bit of pizza mañana.
Jersey on. We're playing right now,
and
actually.
We're playing right now against the same team we just beat on Saturday night.
Yep. Let's get our first win of the season. Yeah, our first official
pizza mañana for sure. Heat season started off a little slow, right? We had that game against the Bulls, which was weird. 116 to 108, we lose. Came out strong.
Tale of two halves,
right? Came out real strong. Had a nice lead heading into the halftime, and I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna keep it together and put it away, but he got super cold in that third quarter, and the Bulls DeMar DeRozan went off on us. You know what I mean?
Everything was contested. It looked like, and everything was going in for him. But I mean, he's elite. He's an elite scorer.
And then imagine to follow that loss up to face a really good team in the Celtics.
Wait, we're not jumping there yet because I got some stuff I want to dissect and pick apart from that first game.
We're gonna have to talk about the performances over the 3 games.
I know, but let just real quick, for that first game. Three things. I'm gonna give you 3 things
stood out for you.
That were my 3 observations in that game. Okay, Hero and Jimmy are still our 1A, 1B for offensive scoring
for sure.
Okay,
that's not gonna change.
Yep. I still have question marks around Bam Adebayo after an opening night performance like he had, which was abysmal, and DeMar DeRozan's ex-Raptor compatriot is garbage. Yeah. And we should have never traded for this guy because Kyle Lowry is looking like a bag of shit.
He's looking rough, man. He's looking rough.
Those are my 3 observations from that first game.
That first game was really bad for him. I think he ended up with like 7 points. He didn't 2 points, excuse me. He had less than 7 points for the first time in his career. Like it was such an off night, you know? And again, you said it was a tale of two halves in that game. Heat really strong first quarter. Kind of fell behind in the second quarter, but we're still ahead comfortably enough. And then, boom, get blown out by 10, 37-27 in the third. Follow that up with another weak performance in the fourth. Not enough threes made, and we find ourselves struggling to lose our first game of the season. Then I'm thinking, okay, the Heat are going to bounce back. We're going to figure out what went wrong, right? Spo's going to make a little adjustment, and the Celtics game is where we're going to make our stand. And the Celtics game was a lot of the same shit. We come out in the first quarter looking good. Right, moving the ball around, people hitting some shots, and it's like, okay, Bam came out a little bit more aggressive. Kyle Lowry came out a little bit more aggressive, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be the game. Again, another disappointing second half where we come out in the second half in the third quarter and end up losing the quarter after being down heading into halftime. Like, those are things that when you look back to how the game plays out, right, if you're not just looking at the box score, you're going to look at that and be like, yo, this is always where the Heat usually try to beat the other team when they're coming from that halftime adjustment and say, all right, they were working on this. Here's how we're going to beat that. And I didn't see that at all in either of those first 2 games. And even in the third game against the Raptors, we didn't get a chance to see it because the Heat were ahead by so much, right, that they didn't need to make too many adjustments to kind of get that victory. Right. But that Celtics game, bro, like, That's not the game that you look at and you're like, damn, that he played kind of well, but we just lost to a better team. Nobody played well that game.
No,
except for Hero. Excuse me.
They, like you said, Kyle Lowry and Bam did bounce back those games. You know, Kyle had 2 points that first game. He had 17 in this one, so there was a difference. Gabe Vincent put up 17. Jimmy had 18. Tyler Hero had 25, so we did have some scoring there, but we had one of my guys, bro, that this guy I think produces a little bit more and it changes the game for us. Max Strus. Yeah. Max Strus only had 2 points that game.
Rough. And he's been playing really well, man, because he's been playing great. In those first 3,
that's the thing we need is everybody all together, especially for the reigning Eastern Conference Finals champion and the ones that took us out, right? The Boston Celtics. And right now in the power rankings in the NBA, they're the number 1. Yeah. So it's like we lose 111, 104. Like you said, like you look at that box score and it's a little bit misleading, but we're also missing a couple of one main guy. I mean, in my opinion, it's Max Strus. I think Max Strus just has 10 points that game, and it makes all the difference for us.
But you said it. You know, it needs to be this Heat season, right? A lot of its success is going to depend on team effort, right? Everybody pitching into the offense.
Well, that's what we've always been about.
But more particularly now, right? Because Duncan's shooting has fell off. We've seen, like, we haven't seen Victor Oladipo yet. Like, so we don't see what the true potential of the offense can be or what it has been before, right? Because there was a period of time where we were smoking teams, 115 points easily, right? But now, since we're struggling to generate those buckets, it needs to be a nightly team effort where everybody's saying, all right, if I'm on the floor for 12 minutes, I got to have at least 6 points. I got to have at least 8 points. And if you're on the floor for 20 minutes, you got to put at least 12 points on the floor, 15 points, right? If you're a Strus, if you're a Duncan, if you're a Hero, whoever, when you're out there, you got to be in 15 plus every night because it needs to be the team effort. Even Jimmy, like, it's too early to call on Jimmy and be like, yo, you got to drop 30 every night, homie, for us to get a dub. Nah, it's too early for
and
that.
Is that Spo is even, you can tell that he's not going to do that, especially this early on in the season. In that first game, he waited till like the last 7-6 minutes. We were down. We had
in
the
second fourth
unit in the fourth, and he waited till like the last 7-6 minutes to get Hero in and then Jimmy in.
Right.
So he's not. Like, it's still early on in the season. He's not going to play these guys the same way he will in the playoffs. No. But still, man, I mean, I know it's early on, but I mean, seeing that the same team, the same core is back for the most part, it feels like we're still missing something. We were missing something in the playoffs, and I feel like we're still missing something right now.
100%. We're missing the big guy. 100%. That's going to be the biggest, flaw that this team has right now, that we have no real size. Count on the mechanic all you want, but he's limited, very limited. Yeah. You know what I mean? Bringing it back to Max Strus, he bounced back in that Saturday game against the Raptors. In his first 3 games, he's averaging 14 points per game, 4 rebounds a game while shooting 47% from the 3-point. I feel like this guy should have been one of our contenders for Breakout Player of the Year, right? Because at the rate that this guy is going, I think that he might be in contention for. I don't think you had Strus.
Did I not take him?
Who'd you have?
I think I had Strus.
I don't know.
You're making me think about it, bro.
We're gonna
run the tape back, but I'm pretty sure I called Strus, dog, being the fucking the one that to step it up this year and bring it for us. Because, bro, he was showing it last year, bro. In the games that we finally started him, towards the end of the season.
Yes, sir.
And then in the playoffs, we gave him that opportunity to start. And guess what? He delivered.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, bro, that kid is a gem right there.
Yeah.
Defensively sound and offensively has a stroke. When he's hot, that 3 ball's on fire, bro.
He's showing that he's more comfortable, and when you're more comfortable, you're playing freely. And when you're playing freely, things come to you naturally. And when they come to you naturally, everything seems to work out for you and everything seems to go your way.
It looks easier too.
The rim is much bigger. You feel yourself finishing better when you're at
your way.
At the rim. Bounces go your way, right? Like the ball tips off the defender after you try to get the steal. All those little things start to click, especially in basketball when you have that rhythm, that groove. I hope that Duncan finds his groove, because I feel like we're gonna need 3-point shooting in the worst way until we find a rotation or a solution for the big man, right? I feel like we're going to need 3-point shots consistently. And I don't know if I should expect that from Victor Oladipo just yet.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Oladipo's been absent. He's been hurt the first
3 games.
Yeah, the first 3. I don't even think he's playing tonight.
No.
Against the Raptors in the back-to-back. But Duncan, honestly, bro, we paid that guy last year. He showed us his true colors. I'm not really expecting much from him. I know what he can do as a 3-point shooter, but I feel like the Heat are kind of just saving him and maybe want to trade him. Maybe, there's trouble in paradise for the Lakers. Who knows? Maybe they need a 3-point shooter. Maybe trade him over there. I don't know what Russ they have. Over here. I don't want Russ, but maybe there's something else they have, like a big guy or something. I don't really know what the Lakers have to offer.
Not a lot.
But I don't see that being a big issue. What I'm seeing is we need a big guy, like we said, and we got a forward right now that is a little inconsistent. But I'll tell you what, I will take him in a UFC fight. In a cage match, I'll take this guy in a heartbeat.
Bro, Caleb Martin showed that he is not no punk.
What bitch, a dog.
And you know what? I like that.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I like that because, number one, he's showing that, he's going to be ready to fight. right? Not necessarily fight physically, but he knows he's going to be going against bigger guys than him, taller opponents, heavier opponents, and he's not going to back down from anybody. And it takes a lot of courage to do 100%. That. You know what I mean? And it also shows the team like, yo, I'm here for you guys, and I'm not letting this shit slide with me or with none of y'all, you know? That does a lot for team morale. That does a lot for chemistry, you know, bringing the guys closer as a unit. I hope that it sparks something into this team. And for Caleb himself, I feel like he's done his job so far. It's only been 3 games, right? So it's not like we could say this with some type of hardcore definity or definition, but having Caleb Martin at the 4 right now is not that bad, right? If he's going to play like this, aggressive, that you're not going to take me for granted, you're not going to punk me, you're not going to back me down type attitude, I could take that.
I like it, but I want it coming off the bench.
Eesh. Who you gonna start?
But he's not. That's my point. That's why I say there's something missing. Caleb is great to come off the bench, but we need somebody else there to start, because that's a really good spark for him to come off the bench and bring that scrappiness and deliver. Because in that first game too that we had against the Bulls, he had like 14 points all in the first half.
Yeah,
he didn't do anything in the second half for us,
because he's got to figure out the conditioning for that. You know what I mean? He's got to find out the conditioning to when to go hard, when to get a rest, when to play aggressive, when to give up maybe an easy bucket or whatever. He's got to figure that out. It's not easy. It took PJ Tucker his whole career to figure that shit out, right? To become a master at that. If Caleb can do some of it, then that's great, you know? Because, again, it's a temporary solution until we either get a big man, we get a better 4, right? Or our rookie happens to turn into something amazing and we slot him into the 4, right?
I haven't seen him yet.
He's not going to play for a while. The Heat are going to take their sweet time with him, because they're not going to want to expose him and then be like, oh, shit, we can't even play him now. You know what I mean? So it's a temporary solution. And if Caleb is going to be the temporary solution with this attitude and playing hard like that and giving me 14 points a game, whether it's in the first half or the second half, I don't care, but you're giving me 14 points a game, I'll take that from him. A guy like Caleb Martin, a guy that I'm not really expecting a whole lot of offensively.
He in our win, he had 22 minutes. He got 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists.
I like that. That's work. That's work, dog. Going against, again, bigger defenders, defending a Pascal Siakam who can do whatever he wants to Caleb Martin. You know what I mean?
That kid's good.
Yeah, that guy's really good.
One of the players that's rumored to be potentially moved is an ex-Heat player.
Who's that?
Jay Crowder.
I know, but I saw, until it's official, right? We won't know. Phoenix is holding on to that. I don't know what that situation is looking like. Will he help here? Yeah, but he's a older, veteran, savvier Caleb Martin, undersized guy, right? Who's gonna play at a disadvantage at that 4 position.
Jay Crowder would dog Caleb Martin.
I'm not saying that he wouldn't. What I'm saying is that he's much older now, right? So it's not the same Crowder from 5 years ago. That's already been 5 years.
We didn't have him 5 years ago.
Look it up.
3 years ago.
Dog,
we lost him and then we got PJ.
Here, right, but what I'm saying is that when we got him here, that has been 5 years. He's not that same player.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I think he can still deliver the 3 ball, and he's a great defender.
True, and he'll probably do it in 12 minutes. He's not doing it in 25 minutes, 30 minutes a game. He's not. He's just not, dog. Because if he were able to do that, I know 6 teams off the top of my head that would love to have that guy, including us. Right now. We would have traded whoever for that guy. We would have traded fucking Gabe Vincent for him. You know what I mean? Come on. That's not the issue. The issue is finding somebody for the long term. Jay Crowder would be a short-term solution too right now for this season.
Yeah.
You know, the answer is finding a big man.
A long-term.
We need a long-term solution. And whether it presents itself through a trade, through somebody being hurt, and now the team is falling apart and they're doing a fire sale, whatever, something like that, that's what we need to be on the lookout for. That's what could ultimately help the Heat. But tonight they're playing the Raptors again at home, which is weird. You usually don't see a back-to-back home stand, right, against the same team. But that's before they go on the road, man. And that little road trip might not be that easy for the Heat, man. They're going to be playing a tough team in Golden State. Well, not Golden State just yet. Let me see who they have here. Once they beat, I know they're playing. Yeah, they're playing Portland, Golden State, and then Sacramento. Tough road trip right there.
Yeah, Sacramento.
They don't got
a lot there going on, but damn, that Golden State team, bro.
Yeah.
They put up 80 something the other day in the first half. Did you see that game?
Imagine what they're.
Did you see that game?
I didn't.
Bro, Curry had like 28 in the first half. They put up, and they put up, I think he had 28 or something like that. And they had 80 something as a team. So you take that away, they still put up over 60 points, which is phenomenal. For an NBA team to put up in a half.
I'm telling you, this Heat team right now has a long way to go. Has a ton of potential, but a long way to go. Jimmy's doing his thing. Good start to the season, averaging 22 points per game. Cool. Tyler stepping up to the plate, 20.7 points per game. Cool. Then after that, huge drop off. You drop down to 14.7 for Max, and then 13% for Bam, and then you have Kyle Lowry at 12, Gabe at 9. If you're not gonna have a guy at 25, 28 points per game, then you need to have 10 guys at least 12 points per game.
Yeah,
at least.
No, we need Bam. We need Bam. We need that number to be high for Bam. Bam needs to be a 20 and 10 guy.
And I have
20 and 10.
For sure. I haven't seen that aggressive Bam. Now, what I have liked from Bam so far in these 3 games, his shooting. He's not thinking about it. He's not like trying to do 15 jabs and trying to like fake out his defender. The moment that guy doesn't move or doesn't come towards him, he's like, well, I'm going to shoot it. Whether it goes in or not, shoot the damn ball. And the Heat, they're going to benefit from that, man. He's going to benefit from that. He needs to be a guy who's 20 and 10 every game. Every game, he needs to be 20 and 10. And for a guy like him, it could be so easy, bro.
Has to be.
Let's see, man. Victor Oladipo out. Caleb Martin out with the suspension. Yurtsevin out. This Heat team, man. It might not be a smooth ride in the beginning of the season. But, like I said, if they can find a way to get that team scoring up, they can hang their hat on their defense. Unlike another team that I know.
What team is that, so?
Let me not say. We're going to save them. We're going to save that. We're going to save that.
Save it.